Good morning.
Welcome to the Divine Fellowship. I'm Pastor Phil. Pastor Janice. Or
Miss Janice.
Miss Janice. Yeah, why?
People call you Mr.
I know. They did, yeah. Well, we've been doing this a long time. For all you new people, welcome.
Welcome.
Like I said, we've been doing this a long time. Coming up on 23 here. My. Oh, Sharon Zeller. Wow.
Hey, Sharon.
Hello. So we kind of mumble the first few minutes here just to kind of wait for people to sign in. Hi, Brittany. And I don't know why, but this has always been one of my favorite.
Hi, Scott.
Scott. Oh, Scott, you've got a hurricane coming, don't you?
Terry McCann.
Yep.
Hi.
Sulfur. I have never seen a chunk like this, but I've always really liked this one. Don't know why, but
Put it closer to the screen so they can see the sparklies in it. Pretty. That's enough, Phil. God. So I wanted to show you a crystal that I think is really pretty. It's a spirit quartz. So it is quartz, but it's been encrusted with additional tiny little crystal and stuff. Isn't that pretty?
Pretty.
Here's another one. So it's all that energy there. And what that does is that amplifies the energy. So you have like a regular crystal, those little points and everything, and then you get a crystal that is encrusted with the additional stuff, and it really amplifies spiritual connection. So that's kind of a fun thing to have around.
Hi, Carolyn Roy.
Hi. Hi, Joe.
All right. So, a needle pulling thread.
On with the show, this is it.
On with the show, this is it.
Curtain lights.
We do have a couple patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carl.
Yay, George and John.
George and John. Can't even say it. John said, "A dream you dream alone is only a dream.
Yes.
A dream you dream together is reality."
It's a vision made true.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And George, soft rock music isn't rock. It ain't even music. It's just soft. You like what?
I like soft rock.
I like too. I like hard rock too.
One or two songs maybe of the hard stuff, but that's...
Oh, you like more. Just not for very long.
Yeah, that's it. It's just not for very long.
No.
That's true.
All right. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Thomas Edison. The language of friendship is not words, but meaning. Henry Thoreau.
Henry, good job, Henry.
And from Matthew 7:7, ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. That's a good one.
We've been talking about that.
Yes, we have. All right. Things that make you go, Hi, Valerie. Hi, Megan.
So things that make me go, often
Other
was
than
you.
me. Yeah, other than me. Yeah, I
He
know.
frequently makes me go,
I know. Nothing is a stronger influence psychologically on their environment, especially on their children, than the unlived lives of the parents.
Ooh.
Ouch. Yep.
An unlived life. What a sad tragedy.
Yeah, no kidding. Children are the living messages we send to a time we will not see.
Oh my.
I like that.
Wow, that's profound.
It
Who
really
said that?
is. That was Neil Postman.
What year?
1931? Yeah, I like it.
I like it.
Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. Italian proverb.
Yep.
Success is how high you bounce when you hit the bottom. George Patton. Children have never been good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them.
Good news, bad news with that, isn't it?
It's kind of weird, but there's a lot of truth to that one. A lot of truth. Steve Hillenburg, bless his pea-picking heart, created the Nickelodeon cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants. The story of a yellow sea sponge who lives in a pineapple at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean with his pet snail, Gary. Hillenberg got his inspiration for the idea while working as a marine science educator. Huh. If you've got kids or grandkids, you've watched that, and it's, yeah, it is what it is. All right.
Remember Patrick?
Can a hearse carrying a corpse drive in the carpool lane? Crickets. Ooh.
Was that a real question?
Yes. Well, I don't know. It's not part of my stuff. So
they could try.
Yeah. And this is one I've always wondered. If the professor on Gilligan's Island can make a radio out of a coconut, why can't he fix a hole in a boat?
Because he's a scientist, not an engineer.
Okay, fine. Why does Goofy stand erect while Pluto remains on all fours? They're both dogs. I don't know. If Wile E. Coyote had enough money to buy all that Acme stuff, why didn't he just buy dinner?
Good question.
I like it, yeah. If corn oil is made from corn and vegetable oil is made from vegetables, what is baby oil made from? Crickets. This is, I have all these are kind of weird today. They're all weird. Okay.
Thanks for the warning.
Well, you're welcome.
Oh, Phil.
What?
We have to start over.
Good God.
We're starting over because we just...
No, we're not going to start over.
Yeah, no, because it's just dead air.
Well, no, it's not dead air. Just people can't hear it very well. I'm surprised nobody said they can't hear us very well.
So has this just been dead air for all this time?
Hello? Somebody tell us, or
Crickets.
we just couldn't hear it? God. Got lots of laughs. No, we heard you. Yeah, okay, so it just wasn't very good. Oh, man. So, people, you need to tell us. Okay, we got it that you at least heard it. But, yeah, when something doesn't quite sound right, say, hey, you guys don't quite sound right. But, yeah, okay, all right. Well, anyway, here we go. We keep going. All of us could take a lesson from the weather. It pays no attention to criticism. In the 60s, people took acid to make the world look weird. Now the world is weird, and people take Prozac to make it look normal.
Okay.
How is it one careless match can start a forest fire, but it takes a whole box to start a campfire?
Just the life is just not fair.
Yep. Okay, you're gonna hate me when I read this, but that's okay. I'm gonna do
Do
it
I need to take the microphone off again? Hide the microphone?
Maybe. I was packing for my business trip, and my 3-year-old daughter was having a wonderful day playing on the bed. At one point, she said, "Daddy, look at this," and stuck out 2 fingers. I tried to keep her entertained. I reached out and stuck her tiny fingers in my mouth and said, "Daddy's going to eat your fingers," pretending to eat them. I went back to packing, looked up again, and my daughter was standing up on the bed, staring at her fingers with a devastated look on her face. I said, "What's wrong, honey?" She said, "What happened to my booger?" I told you they're bad. I told you before. I'm weird today, and they're kind of... Sorry. Maybe.
To change the subject...
Oh, yeah. We're going to change the subject.
Phil wanted to chat with you just for a minute about the little things.
The little things in life. You know, it really, truly is amazing when people... watch us and they hear us talk or hear Jan talk and give these great ideas, and they're all great ideas if you use them. And we all think that it takes this momentous occasion or this momentous thing that we change in our lifestyle to change our lives. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's the little things that can have an amazing answer to everything you're doing.
Huge impact.
Huge impact. For instance, and just kind of put it in a little bit of perspective, you ever had something you're building on the ground or anything else, like maybe a patio, or you're putting stones, or you're just kind of doing stuff, and you get one that's all perfectly level and everything's fine, and then you put the next one in and it's perfectly level, fine to that one, you put the next one in and it's perfectly level to the one you just did, and when you get done, they're all over the place. because you forgot to look where you were going. Forgot to look in the future and see, look back and see what you were doing, as opposed to one little thing. If you keep doing that one little thing over and over again, it starts getting wrong just a little bit, and all of a sudden, you're way over here where you didn't want to go when you really kind of wanted to be somewhere in here. It's the little things to really pay attention to and be grateful for too. When you have a great day, that's the little things. I know we've told this story before. On our property, we had a property line. Long story short, it got
surveyed. Survey says. It got surveyed, and all of a sudden, our property line was like way the heck like this. It was okay at the street, but it was way off, way at the end of the property line. How much off? Oh, about 20 to 25 feet. So we had about 20 to 25 feet of the neighbor's property. Long story short, it was the most expensive piece of free property we ever had because we had an attorney, and yeah. There are all these deeds and had to be done.
Yeah. And, again, it's the small things to really pay attention to.
Because it was at the street.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And then it just
kind of...
And it was a long backyard. We've got half an acre here.
A couple hundred feet anyway. Yeah. So by the end, it was way off. So, yeah. And, I've worked out for 52 years with weights. You'd never know it.
Anyway. Do it again.
But I've never been a big weight person, but I always use weights. And, as I age, I tend to end up hurting myself. So, it's like, oh, dang, that hurts. I've hurt myself now. What am I going to do? I want to keep doing that exercise, but what can I do? And I make some small correction. I mean, move my hand a little bit differently while I'm doing it, and all of a sudden, the pain's almost not there. And so I'll keep doing things, and I can keep doing things by making small adjustments. So if it hurts to walk, figure out a way to make it hurt less and keep walking. Don't stop walking. Not a good thing. Same thing with any kind of exercise or any kind of exercise program. You hurt yourself. Yeah, I hurt myself all the time. But I keep exercising. I find other things I can do that I'm not hurting myself. And once that's healed, I'll change something small or figure out what the heck I did to make that. All this to say, it's the small things you really need to be looking at, not necessarily those huge, great big life changes, but rather the small ones.
That result in huge life changes.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that.
No!
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Segueing from what you had to say.
Well, I'm going to segue with my coffee.
He's going to segue on out of here. Exit stage left. Boy, we're a lot of cartoons this morning. Saturday morning thing, isn't it? So I wanted to chat with you today about the little things in life that are huge, but one specific thing. The big specific thing that I want to chat with you about is your energy field and being mindful of that. I think the best way to say it is a boundary, your energetic boundary. And our energetic boundary can be compromised if our emotional boundaries are not strong. And if, in fact, as a child or a younger person, you've had a trauma or a violence, even just watching violence, can shatter your energy field, can shatter the structure of your energy field. And I want to look at that today, and I want to give you some little tools and little suggestions here to help you rebuild that and strengthen that, because that's going to keep you in good stead. That's going to hold you steady when there's so much uncertainty in the world. Now, the energy field I'm talking about is the energy field that extends beyond your physical form, and it's about arm's length away from you. Now, that can shift, that changes. If you're feeling insecure and you're feeling stressed, you often will draw your energy field in closer to your body so you can feel safer. Does that make sense to you? And then when you relax, it relaxes out. when you've had trauma or difficulty, that can either blow way out or have holes in it or fractures in it, or then it's just really tight to your body and it's almost suffocating. But what happens when that energy field that surrounds us isn't a safe place anymore is we get drained and we feel fatigued and we feel like we're languishing. It's like, why am I so tired? Does that make sense to you? So if you have any of those experiences, you might want to pay attention to this. And it's not a big deal. It's not a huge thing. You certainly can survive without your energy field being intact, because most of us have challenges to that. But what happens here is the more we can do to give that strengthening and healing, the more empowered we are, the more we can stand in our own strength and our own power. And one of the things that we can do on the physical level is we can set clear emotional boundaries. And setting clear emotional boundaries can be as simple as not letting people run over us. Now here's the problem with that. Often if we've not had really clear boundaries in the past, or the boundary's been breached when we were young, or we've had someone who was oppressive and the boundary was breached repeatedly, then it's really hard to set boundaries. So when people ask us to do something, we just automatically do it, not realizing that sometimes people are just looking for an easy way out and you're it. And sometimes people are asking for help, but they don't really want help. They just want to be rescued, and that's not healthy. So finding your boundary is really important. It's really important for you, and it's important for the people you interact with. And starting with a little thing. If somebody asks you something and your first response is, let me fix it for you, that may not be the right response. So looking at that, it's like Phil when he's doing his workout, his exercises, he has to pay attention. Is that comfortable for me? Is that straining something? Notice that if you're busy doing something and somebody asks you for something, you can actually say no. I know, it's a surprise, isn't it? And even though the word no cannot come out of your mouth yet, at first, it couldn't come out of my mouth. I couldn't say the word no to save my life. But I could say I'm uncomfortable with that. I could say I'd rather not be interrupted at the moment. Can we do that later? So finding ways to say, putting the task back on the other person. Because otherwise we tend to wait until we just can't take it anymore, and then we're angry and we're taking offensive action. We're doing the things that we don't want to do. But we feel that's the only way to do it because that's the only way it's been done to us. So back up and find one little thing and do the one little thing that sets a clear boundary for you. Now there's a Bible passage I want to read too. Just a tiny little one. But I think it's really profound. This is from Proverbs 23, verse 10. Not Psalms 23, but Proverbs 23. Do not move ancient boundaries. Do not move an ancient boundary, or the ancient boundary. So boundaries are set here for a reason. And when we've moved them, or if they have been moved, it's not a good thing. They're here for a reason. You have a right to have a boundary. But what is that? That's such a vague thing, and we don't know. We don't know what's my job, what's my responsibility, and what's your responsibility. If you ask me all of a sudden, then I have an obligation. I feel it's my responsibility to fix that for you or do that for you. No, not necessarily. Sometimes the best gift we can give someone is the empowerment for them to do it themselves. And yet we're so used to not having any boundaries. We're so used to giving in. We're so used to just doing and caretaking that we forget that we're really not caring for that person when we do that. We're really not caring for ourselves when we do that. So finding what is the truth of yourself. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're a little uncomfortable, notice that. And that's where a boundary needs to be placed. Because I guarantee you, from voice of experience, if you don't set the little boundaries, then by the time you have to set a big boundary, it's really close and it's hard. It's really hard work. So even if you're in this place where your boundaries are really been breached a lot, and you have to backtrack a little bit, find a little thing, just a little thing, to hold your line about. It's hard to hold a line. Sometimes when we set a boundary when we're upset, it's like, I don't ever want to see that again, or I don't ever want to do that again. I don't ever, well, that's a really hard boundary to maintain. Especially because it's usually done in anger and angst and anguish. But if we can set a little boundary of, I'm not going to interrupt what I'm doing to get you something. I'm gonna let you find that for yourself. Does that make sense? So just the little things, and then hold that line. Because when you hold that line, that energetic boundary then becomes, or that physical boundary that emotional boundary becomes a physical boundary, which people can feel, sense, and respect. Okay? So when we're working with our boundaries, there's also the energetic side to that. Excuse me. So the energetic side I want to talk to you just a bit about, because that energetic side is going to help you have a clearer boundary in the emotional and the physical realm. They all work together. So you can't have one without the other. So there's lots of processes that I do in some of my private classes about helping you create your boundaries or adjusting your energy field. But I want to chat with you just a little bit about some of those are more complicated than we can do in our short time here. So I want to give you a different process today. But the first thing I want you to do, first thing is of importance here, is to notice your own physical boundary, your own physical energy field. Now, if you're not used to noticing that, it's going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just air outside of my body. Okay, yes. But if you rub your hands together really fast and you put them a ways away, you can feel when there starts to be a compression. Make sense? Okay, that's energy. You're feeling energy. You're not feeling heat. You're just feeling energy. And you can expand the energy in your palms by bringing living light of love into your heart space, out into your arms, down into your hands, and amplify that. And you'll find that pressure, you can feel it even further away, because it's more than just your energy. It's this divine energy amplifying. Now, this helps if you have another person around, they can assist you with this. But if not, that's okay too. You can find it for yourself. So what you want to do then is you want to amplify that energy, bringing energy in from that higher source. Hold your hands out and then just bring them towards you. And can you feel that little bit of a pushback on the energy there? When you do, that's where your energy field is. Now, it usually floats out to the tips of your fingers. But because we're looking at it, we're drawing that in a little closer, so you should feel it right about that far from yourself. Can you feel that? Just a little bit of a pushback. So out here is just air and nothing, and then you come in there, and there feels that there's something there. It's like just a little bit of pressure. Can you sense that? Do you have a feeling of that? Okay, that's what we're talking about. Now, noticing that pressure, bringing the energy back into your hands. Now I want you to, remember how we did the sweeping and clearing the last couple of times? We're going to take that energy now, and I want you to just track around your energy field. And if you feel a space where there's no energy field, that's where a breach has happened. Okay, for me, there's a little bit one right here. So I'm just going to send some energy to that, and I'm going to seal that up. It doesn't happen. I don't have to know why. I don't know where that came from. It doesn't matter. Could have been some conversation that I overheard at a restaurant. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it came from. It could have been way in the past. Doesn't matter. The key is that I have a right and a responsibility now to set a clear boundary and to heal my boundaries. They're sacred. This is my sacred space. So just feel around your being. And just bring your awareness to the behind you. Just have a sense of that.